What do you think, that expression, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? I'm not always convinced.
Not always convinced, but I think in my relationship with Steve, our problems have brought us together. I had IVF, we found out we couldn't have children, had IVF, he was there for me every step of the way. Then we adopted Amara, so he had to stay behind because I adopted from abroad. And then, we had 2 children, he was starting his own business, I wasn't working, so we had problems with money and, every week, are we going to pay the mortgage? So going through all of that, and yes, there were so many times when I could have just opened that door and said, that's it, I've had enough.
What about him?
I'm 40 years old and what all this.
Did he
and
ever
I think
that?
Absolutely the same, blimey, what have I got to put up with her, because I'm not shy and retiring, as you all know. I'll stand my ground. And I think sometimes, for me, it's my children that I think has got us through those bleakest times. We sit down, we think, why did I marry you in the first place? It's because you're that nice person. It's because you're my best friend. It's because you have been there every step of the way. We've been through a struggle together. And we're here, and actually
so they were saying now,
kids,
research is saying, if your marriage is in trouble, your relationship's in trouble, stick it out.
Stick it out.
Yeah. So there's 2 in 3 couples on the rocks, particularly after a first child is born, said they were content when asked 10 years later.
Yeah.
So, my mum always says to me, trouble with you young people, you just walk away the moment there's a problem.
Yeah, but if there's no children involved, I think a lot of women might get to middle age and they find they're married to someone who's just boring.
Yeah.
I don't agree as well. Just because you have kids,
dreary,
you should stay together.
Sorry, you don't.
I think just because you've got kids, I think if you're not happy, get out the relationship, because if you're at home arguing, the kids sense it and then the kids are unhappy. I don't agree with that either.
Because, Steve and I, a normal family, sometimes you're like, and like what Zach does now at 8 years old, he'll come up to me and he'll go, Mummy, do you still love Daddy? And I'm like, yeah. And he'll say, can you just please go up to him and say, I love you, Daddy, and give him a hug? And I'm like, I really don't want to do that. But he stands there, so I kind of go, I love you, Daddy.
Well, there's a fantastic story in the paper today that said that dogs can identify when we're having a row.
Oh, yeah.
And if a couple has a row, the dog definitely picks up if one partner's really
Maggie
horrible.
doesn't like shout. My dog Maggie doesn't like shouting of any sort. Even if you're shouting for fun, you kind of shout up the stairs to Jack, her ears go down when she does that.
Yeah. I don't think our dogs know when we argue because our house is so loud and mad anyway. I think it's a constant row.
The thing is, I've said, Eamon and I, we bicker, so we don't have kind of massive rows, but we do bicker. And Jack's just so used to it because he also sees a lot of love. So as much as we bicker and I go, shut up, and I'll slam the door or something, 2 minutes later, he'll see us having a cuddle or a hug. And I think, it's real.
Yeah,
That's
it's real.
I think if you give children an unrealistic view of a happy marriage...
Yeah, exactly.
I think that you're setting them up for a fall sometimes, aren't you?